And joining me now is Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. Senator, good to see you tonight. So it's Wall Street, Congress, the media, universities. They're all lining their pockets with a lot of money, and upsetting China with criticisms or concerns could upset the apple cart of these investments. So what now for Congress?
Well, I think when it comes to Congress, one of the most basic things that we should be able to expect, Laura, and that voters, citizens ought to be able to expect, is that people who go to Congress are going to be focused on actually doing what the people want and not on lining their own pockets and padding their own wallets, which is why I think it's time to ban stock trading by members of Congress. It's not too much to say that if you go to Congress, you should either do what most Americans do, which is to put their savings into broad-based mutual funds or put them in a blind trust. But either way, people in Congress should be focused on doing what the people sent them there to do and not what Nancy Pelosi has been doing, apparently, which is selling stocks and trades and enhancing her own personal wealth over all of these years.
Well, that's an enormous amount of money that she's made. Her husband, Paul, is a big investor, hugely successful. And I mentioned Ray Dalio in the Reader before you came on. And it's important to know that, of course, he's a multi-billionaire, but Chinese propaganda outlets, state-run media, are praising him because he touted what he calls their common prosperity plan. And he says China's common prosperity refers to affluence shared by everyone in both material and cultural terms. Dalio is a rare visionary in the U.S. He knows that the U.S. problems are not rooted in China, but in the U.S. itself. Senator, I've heard a lot from U.S. CEOs over the years, but this takes the cake. He's getting praised by the Chinese Communist Party.
You know, I tell you what, I consider it a badge of honor that I am banned from China by the Chinese Communist Party. I'm officially sanctioned by them. I think to be praised, to be fawned over by the communists in those kind of terms just shows you what some people in corporate America are willing to do in order to make a buck, Laura. And you know what? I don't think that we should be saying to these investors and these CEOs, I mean, that it's too much to ask of them to actually be for America. I mean, what is it? Why can't they be for the United States of America that, after all, is the country that's made them rich? I mean, they have made their money because of the free system, the free economy, free enterprise we have in this country. And I think to turn around and to badmouth that and to say that the Chinese system is better, I mean, I don't see them living in China, basing their business in China. It's just outrageous. And, I think people are tired of it, and they're tired of these woke corporations and woke CEOs lecturing this country and Americans on how we ought to live while they praise authoritarians like the dictatorship in China.
And speaking of giving a big propaganda coup to the Chinese Communist Party, Senator, we're about to have NBC broadcast the Olympics in Beijing, a huge moment for the Communist Party of China after the virus, of course, devastated the globe. And we're launching a campaign tonight on the Ingram Angle called Not 1 Minute. And that means we are getting people across the country to say they will not watch 1 minute of the Olympics because of what it does to prop up the Communist Party regime and all their subjugation and oppression of minorities and dissenters of the regime. Do you agree with this? Do you think we should be in Beijing?
I absolutely agree with what you're saying and what you're doing, and the Olympics should absolutely not be in Beijing. And there's no way that we should be rewarding, the Olympic Committee should be rewarding this authoritarian dictatorship whose entire economy, can I just say, is based on slave labor. We know that they imprison their own people, they enslave their own people, and not to mention all of the theft that they've committed with regard to this country and the jobs and technology they've stolen from us. But they're the world's leading practitioners of slavery. I mean, there's just no way that we should be applauding that, propping it up. And I just want to say that, I wish our athletes well, but I'm not going to be watching NBC's coverage because I just can't stand to see another big corporation fawn over the Chinese government in an effort to make more money. I just think it's wrong.
Senator, thank you. Great to see you tonight.